She may have a beloved singer for a dad, but Jelly Roll's daughter Bailee Ann DeFord grew up in heartbreaking conditions and is still struggling to stay healthy years later. Jelly Roll has had an incredible journey to becoming a country music superstar, but without his daughter, he may never have made it to the top. His struggles in his teenage and young adult years led to jail stints due to drug offenses, robbery, and assault. In 2008, he was coming to the end of a jail sentence for drug dealing when a prison guard delivered some shocking news. As the singer recalled to CBS Sunday Morning, he said, "DeFord, you had a kid today." I said, "What?" He said, yeah, you had a child." And I was like, "What's her name?" And he said, "Hell, I don't know." Becoming a parent was enough to ensure that Jelly Roll would come out of prison a changed man. As he told People magazine in 2023, "The single most impactful event of my entire life was having my daughter. It changed everything." Intent on providing for his firstborn, Jelly Roll completed his GED in jail and finally met Bailee when she was 2 years old.
My daughter saved my life. She wasn't old enough to even know it.
Bailee's dad wasn't the only person struggling with substance abuse while she was growing up, as her birth mother, Felicia Beckwith, also had a drug problem. She opened up about the trauma of losing her mother to addiction on a February 2024 episode of Dumb Blonde, her stepmom Bunnie XO's podcast. As she put it, "Kindergarten year, I guess, is when it started to decline with mom. You know, addiction and stuff. And then I guess around 6, first grade, was when it just went gone." And in a January 2020 Instagram post, Bailee revealed, "I don't talk about my personal life on social media much, but my blood mother came home to me on Christmas Day of 2018 and left me again for drugs in January 2019. As Jelly Roll explained to the New York Times in 2024, his daughter didn't really understand what her mother was going through at the time. As he recalled, "I've always been honest. Bailee was different, my oldest, because of what her mother was dealing with. I was trying to describe what addiction was to an 8-year-old without using words like addiction or drugs." While Jelly Roll acknowledged that addiction is a disease, he also suggested that it can fundamentally change a person, which is what he believes happened with Beckwith. So he was mindful of the disease's impact on his daughter, recalling the painful moments during which he had to console Bailee over her mom's behavior. As he put it, "I've had to hold that kid crying. It hurts." Another struggle of Bailee's childhood happened when her mom ended up in a codependent relationship with a man who also struggled with drugs. Beckwith's mental and physical health subsequently deteriorated to the point that she stopped taking her daughter to school and left their home in disrepair. As Bailee put it on Dumb Blonde, "The house was horrendous, like nightmares." By the age of 7, Bailee was essentially forced to take care of the household. She took on cooking and cleaning duties and cared for her 2 young cousins, whom she was essentially raising as her own children. But she was severely neglected and had no bed, instead sleeping in a chair, as she didn't want her cousins to have to sleep on the floor. As she recalled, "Right after I turned 8, 2016, around that time, was when it got to the point where they weren't, being able to pay the bills because they're spending all their money on drugs. So it's like the lights kept going out and the water kept going out. And we owned the house. There wasn't rent, but all these things kept turning off."
Broke my heart because I looked around and this house was completely trashed. Bailee had no bed. She was sleeping in a chair.
Jelly Roll and Bunnie XO tried to help out by sending Beckwith money to pay the bills, but she and her partner ended up spending the money on drugs each time. Bailee was eventually taken out of her birth mother's care due to her drug problems. Before this happened, she had rarely seen her father, and she grew up hating him, as Beckwith made her believe that he was a terrible person. Nevertheless, Jelly Roll and Bunnie XO knew they had to take the necessary steps towards obtaining custody of Bailee. In his interview with the New York Times, Jelly Roll acknowledged his fear that he lacked the sufficient experience and maturity to care for a child. As he put it, "I was like, I know her mother's a piece of expletive. Her mother's family isn't able to raise this child. My family's not able to raise this child. I've got to figure this out." Fortunately, Bunnie XO was able to step in and mediate the difficult situation. Since then, it's been clear that she's been a positive presence in Bailee's life. As Jelly Roll admitted to Billboard, "I would have never got custody of my daughter without her. I wouldn't have had the stability or the money." After moving in with her dad and Bunnie XO, Bailee stopped hearing from her mom and had no idea where she even was. Eventually, she found out that she was incarcerated. When she turned 12, her mom returned, hoping to reconcile with her. As Bailee recalled on the Dumb Blonde podcast, "When I'm actually doing half decent, she's like, what can I f up in her head?" 2 years later, Bailee decided to spend more time with her mother. During this period, Beckwith offered her marijuana, which she then began smoking regularly. That led to harder drugs, as well as alcohol. As Bailee explained, nobody knew except my mother, who manipulated and convinced me to do drugs. After a significant period of frequent drinking and drug use, her mom left one day with no explanation, which prompted Bailee to seek help and get sober. In 2024, Jelly Roll spoke to the United States Congress about the impact of drugs on his family, as he urged the government to take action against the opioid crisis.
And every single day I have to wonder, if me and my wife, if today will be the day that I have to tell my daughter that her mother became a part of the national statistics.
Bailee has struggled with suicidal thoughts from a young age. In fact, she first began feeling this way when she was only 7 or 8. When she was a teenager, her girlfriend attempted to take her own life, which triggered Bailee's own suicidal ideation. This was further exacerbated when her mother came to visit her for her birthday. As she admitted on the Dumb Blonde podcast, "I did some things, I said some things, and had a really terrible summer. And it got dark. It got so dark, in fact, that Bailee actually attempted to kill herself." Her dad and Bunnie XO sought help for her, while acknowledging that these issues were the result of severe trauma. As Bunnie said, "It's crazy that you even knew that it was that deep-rooted, because you didn't know what it was deep-rooted in. It was like, well, there's some childhood but obviously there has to be more." At her lowest point, Bailee had a bit of heart-to-heart with herself, coming to the conclusion that she would either end up dead or in jail if she didn't work hard at healing. While looking back at this dark chapter, she implored other young people going through abuse or trauma not to give up hope. In July 2024, Bailee and Bunnie XO both suffered serious health scares, as they ended up being hospitalized at the same time. Bunnie uploaded a TikTok of the two of them waiting in a hospital room, along with the caption, "When you've been to the hospital 3 times, once for her, twice for me." Neither Bailee nor Bunnie revealed why they were in the hospital, though in Bunnie's case, it may have had something to do with a previous aneurysm scare. She also noted that she had to be treated for low blood sugar and a spider bite. As for Bailee, since 2023, she's taken a lengthy break from both TikTok and Instagram, although it's not known if that has anything to do with any health issues. Bailee has been open about her struggles with negative self-image, particularly in an Instagram post from February 2019, when she was just 10 years old, as she revealed that her biggest insecurities were her teeth and her body. She also admitted, "One of my goals for this year, and always, is to be a better person, and also to love myself more." These insecurities have likely been exacerbated by online bullying, with trolls mocking her weight and appearance. Fortunately, though, her stepmom has been there for her. In a TikTok from January 2024, Bunnie XO addressed someone who had body-shamed Bailee. She explained that many people who struggle with their weight suffer from eating disorders, while adding, "So for you to even come on my page and say something about my underage daughter's body shows the type of human you are."
And I just hope you have the day that you deserve and the life you deserve, because people like you don't make it far in life.
And Jelly Roll has also been there to help his daughter through these struggles. As Bailee revealed on Instagram in June 2019, "You have been by my side when nobody else could or would, teaching me life lessons on everything, how to deal with bullies and my feelings." Jelly Roll has been open about his own struggles with depression, having described himself as a broken man trying to heal. It's a sentiment shared by his daughter, who has also opened up about her issues with anxiety and depression and her quest for healing. On the Dumb Blonde podcast, she admitted to having anger issues, which Bunnie XO suggested was due to her traumatic childhood. By the age of 14, Bailee was in the midst of a deep depression, which led her to enroll in an intensive mental health workshop. As she described it, "It's like I'm 14 years old. I have lost all of my relationships with people. Maybe I should get it together." And I did for a while. In January 2020, Bailee opened up about the ways her stepmom had helped her through her mental health struggles. As she wrote on Instagram, "She has held my hand through anxiety, cried with me in sad times, smiled with me when I am glad, and celebrated with me at big events." Bailee also revealed on Dumb Blonde that she wanted to channel her experiences into something positive by devoting her time to helping other teenagers who have mental health issues. As she put it, "The mental health crisis with teenagers right now is disgusting, and it makes me want to do everything in my power I can." As of 2024, Bailee and her mom Felicia Beckwith are not in each other's lives. On the Dumb Blonde podcast, Bunnie XO revealed that Beckwith had gotten sober, but then found trouble again. This ultimately led to Bailee cutting off all communication with her. As she explained, "I'm very strict on my stance on it. She is, frankly, I believe my mother is soulless."
I don't think there is healing for her because I don't think she ever wants it.
In Jelly Roll's New York Times interview, he explained that while he believed everyone has the capacity to turn their lives around, he wasn't so sure Beckwith would ever be able to atone for the trauma she inflicted upon their daughter. As he put it, "Sometimes I am way less forgiving with her. I have to catch myself when I have those human emotions. After so many times, you get to a point where you're like, man, is it the drugs or is it the person?" And in an April 2024 interview with Life and Style, a family friend divulged that for Bailee's sake, Jelly Roll may not welcome Beckwith back into the fold until she can prove that she's capable of changing and sticking to it. As the friend put it, Jelly's all about second chances, and he believes Felicia can turn her life around and be a part of Bailee's life again. But for now, Bailee's safety and well-being comes first. If you or anyone you know needs help with addiction issues, please contact the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration website or contact SAMHSA's National Helpline at 1-800-662-HELP. That's 1-800-662-4357.